Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You've got your best friends out here in the dividend investing world, Bert and Lanny, guys. Today, we're going to talk about none other than Vanguard ETFs and their quarter four distribution. The question is, did it grow or did it drop?
Ooh, let's talk about it, everybody. Smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Holler at your boys, the Dividend Diplomats. It's almost holiday season, so you know what? If we get this video, we're going to lower it, Lanny, to 200 likes. We're going to give some Christmas swag to everybody here, so get this video.
It's the holiday season.
200 likes, someone subscribes, we'll have some swag shipped over to you. Let's freaking
go. To enter, guys, like, subscribe, and comment what is your favorite Vanguard ETF in the comments so we know who to pick.
That's right. So, all right, it's ETF dividend season. This is the most fun time. You have your mutual funds and your ETFs. They don't just announce a dividend. They also consider any distributions that they want to give out for our capital gains throughout the year. It's not as prevalent in the ETF world. That's more of a mutual fund thing, but that sometimes helps juice up your year-end dividends for ETFs too. Lanny, which funds are we going to be talking about today?
Absolutely. Guys, we do this pretty much every quarter when Vanguard finally releases all of their dividend distributions for the quarter. So we're going to stick with the 5 Vanguard ETFs. We're going to go over Vanguard's high dividend yield ETF VYM. You know, my favorite, my true and true. The Vanguard's S&P 500 VOO, the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF VIG, the Vanguard European ETF VGK, and then we'll look at the Vanguard's total market VTI. So guys, Vanguard released it all this week. Usually it's not this early, and Bert and I, we were talking, maybe it's because of where Christmas fell and where New Year's is falling. Maybe they just wanted to announce all of them earlier. So we'll see what you guys think about that. Obviously, I own all of these except VTI. Bert, I think you own the first 3.
That's right.
So we're going to take it ETF by ETF, quarter versus quarter of last year, and then year-to-date versus year-to-date last year, guys. VYM is that first one, you guys. They announced a 96.42 cent dividend, and that is down about 12.3% from last year, which was $9.95, guys.
Wow, and that one's kind of sent some shockwaves here through because going back, we always have the VYM SCHD battle. SCHD announced a modest dividend increase. VYM came in lower, but Lanny, you brought up an excellent point here, and this is where I think it's important for us to revisit the timing of when the dividends are paid. Timing consideration here to see if that has any impact in it. It's usually the end of December. Do you think that factored into the VYM lower Q?
Well, it's a good point out. This year, where VYM announced their fourth quarter, it's about on par. So really, I'm more focused on the VOO, VIG about when theirs came out. But VYM is just down. And I'm trying to look at when their top companies paid. Obviously, I didn't go through when Broadcom or JP Morgan or when Exxon pays because, really they're just passing on the distributions of dividends they're receiving onto the shareholder. So I didn't go through their full list to see what those pay dates were. But yeah, very much a shock, to see a 12% drop in the quarter. And then year over year, it's only up 0.47%. When historically it's usually fluctuating between 6 to 8% from a dividend growth standpoint year over year. So calendar year now, guys, the trailing 12 versus trailing 12, pretty much flat with a slight nudge up in your dividend right now, which is unfortunate for myself and other VYM shareholders right now.
Yeah, so let's see if that was a trend that's going to persist through the next 4 Vanguard ETFs. Number 2 on this list, VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 fund. Their Q4 dividend is $1.73.85, a decrease from Q4 2023 of $1.80.11, down 3.48%.
Yeah. So that's where it's also odd because, VYM, should be lower growth than your VOO, but VOO also came in with a negative 3.5% growth quarter over quarter, and Bert, they still finished up year to date about 5.45% from looking at the 12 versus 12 months. But for VOO, if I look at the chart really quick on kind of where they were sliding in last year with their distribution, guys. So last year in December, their distribution, sorry, it's taking a minute to load. I guess it's really about the same time period as well, but they just blasted it with $1.80 last year versus the $1.73. So again, not sure, just not
Interesting.
sure.
All right, let's move to number 3 here. Surely we'll see what happens with the appreciation fund because Vanguard appreciates dividends. I appreciate this one. This is the one that I buy 1 share of every single week starting on Monday for my portfolio. Lanny, I know you buy VIG every single day. Why don't you tell us about the Q4 dividend compared to Q3, and let's see if that trend has reversed here for VIG.
VIG came in with an 87.56 cent dividend for the fourth quarter, guys, which is also down 4.37% from Q4 last year, which was 91.56 cents. So, guys, another Vanguard ETF that is down quarter over last year's linked quarter.
Like VOO, though, they are up 5.33% year to date from the dividend. So 2024 dividends increased 5.33% compared to 2023.
Yeah, very interesting, very consistent then, and actually lower growth than VOO, which is not what I expect from VIG.
No.
VIG historically is between 8 and 10% growth, and VOO is usually right around that 7. So things are looking a little interesting right now on the dividend distribution growth standpoint right now.
Yeah, so now let's move into here. We'll move across the pond here. We're going to head to Europe with the
Ooh,
VGK,
V,
the
V.
Vanguard.
Hey,
Yeah, this one's your favorite. This is one of your oldest positions.
yeah,
Fun
my
fact,
favorite.
everybody. One of Lanny's oldest holdings, VGK. Surely they reversed the trend of the negative dividend increases for Q4, right?
You know what? Yeah, they did, which was not expected.
Ooh.
Um, you
Ooh.
know, that's the funniest part about it is VGK actually knocked the cover off the ball with the 71.94 cent dividend versus 45.71 cent dividend last year's fourth quarter. So a 57% increase versus last year's fourth quarter.
All right, we're going to stop here because we got our first positive increase for that. Kidding. They did have a negative quarter earlier in the year though, so this one is partially making up for it. They are up though, 12.97% for the overall dividend in 24 compared to 23, which is a huge increase. That's fantastic.
Why VGK is better than SCHD.
Who wants to see that video? You put that down there in the
You
comment
know,
section. And
what is VGK's performance year to date?
yeah, and while you're doing that, everyone, again, a reminder, get us this video 200 likes, subscribe, and leave that comment below. We're going to have a swag giveaway if we hit that 200 mark.
VGK is flat year to date, guys. So again, no price performance there. This one I hold in my Roth IRA, I believe, and it's just one of those nostalgia positions.
Can't get rid of it now. Last but not least, VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index. It has, if I'm correct, Lanny, I wish I had it off the top of my head. It has a slightly higher dividend yield than VOO, right? But it's not much different. It's like it's the
Yeah,
same, but
I would say it's almost the same. I mean,
it's same but different.
yeah, it's big but smaller. It's smaller but bigger, guys, because they announced a 94.12 cent dividend, which is also lower by 6% from last year's $1.17.
Year to date, though, they are up 7.66% compared to year to date 2023.
So, guys, Vanguard struggled, and as Vanguard ETF investors, if you relied on a big Q4 dividend income, you probably still got one. Obviously, they're paying a dividend. It's not like they're not paying a dividend. In my 1,700 shares, I'm still going to get a $1,500 plus dollar dividend. And but guys, you want your income to grow, and this
Yeah.
quarter, out of all quarters, that fourth quarter, which is usually the banger
Yeah.
quarter, guys, it's a banger quarter,
Exactly.
did not produce those results. So, Bert,
Interesting.
what were we talking about then?
Well, We'll see how this trend persists. That is the funniest thing about this. Some years are great, some years are small, but to your point, Lanny, over time, these dividend ETFs tend to trend upward on the dividend yield and the dividend growth front. 2024, it just appears for the big Vanguard ones, the big three in your trifecta, you betcha. It wasn't the best year of dividend growth, but all three of them, when you take the step back, still increase that dividend, even though VYM's was only 0.47% in 2024. VOO and VIG were at least over 5%. So you at least got some growth. Wasn't what you wanted, but you know what? We'll look ahead to 2025 and see if we can reverse that trend.
Yeah, let's see what Q1, guys, as I keep saying, onward to Q1, because we're going to really see what that dividend distribution ends up doing for that first quarter of the new year. 90 days away from finding that out, guys. So just keep saving, keep investing, keep building that passive income here with your favorite ETFs.
So everybody, let us know, were you impacted by the Vanguard lack of dividend growth here in Q4? Or are you an SCHD shareholder that's pointing your finger and being like, we told you so, even though, hey, VYM is still up 14% and SCHD is only up 7%. So their VYM is still crushing SCHD on the appreciation front. So remember that for everyone that's going to say SCHD is the superior one. I just want to point that out there. And I'm the one that invests in SCHD in this conversation.
Yeah, and I think the gap now is about 6% over the 5-year. So it keeps getting smaller. So we'll see if we get into the fives here in the next week or two.
And that's what I keep saying. Like, again, so before all the SCHD shareholders pound that chest, remember, VYM is still beating it on the appreciation front. So keep that in mind.
Guys, remember to like the video, comment your favorite Vanguard ETF to get into the swag giveaway contest. Get to 250 likes here. Subscribe, guys. Happy holidays, even though we got a couple more videos coming out for you, because that's what the diplomats do, baby. And I got one thing left to tell you. You're either with us or you are against us, Jack. That was Bertha Hurt and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.